Hello and a very warm welcome. You're watching News 9 on point with me, Kabir Naqvi. I'm stepping in for Karthikesh Sharma tonight, but rest assured, the flavor of the show, its sharp analysis, pointed debates, and uncompromising focus remains intact. In today's edition, we've got one on point for you. Take a look. The Aam Aadmi Party and the BJP clash over slums in the national capital. Atishi dares the Lieutenant Governor, says he is lying as the land use was changed, cites DDA documents. But before that, like always, the headlines on your screens next. Prime Minister Narendra Modi inaugurates the much-awaited Z-More tunnel at Sonmarg, along with Union Ministers Nitin Jairam Gadkari, Dr. Jitendra Singh, Lieutenant Governor Manoj Sinha and Chief Minister Omar Abdullah and other officials. Army Chief briefs on China, says the situation along the LAC is stable, deployment along the LAC is balanced and robust. Japan issues tsunami warning after a 6.9 magnitude quake strikes the Kyushu region. The Election Commission accepts the Aam Aadmi Party's request for voter ID card transfer of Patparganj candidate Avadoja. Actors Venkatesh Dagubati and Rana Dagubati and family booked in a restaurant demolition case. India summons Bangladesh's envoy just a day after Dhaka pulled up the Indian High Commissioner over border fencing. The 45-day Mahakumbh, it begins in Prayagraj, and as per the data released by the government, 60 lakh devotees took the holy dip today. Union Minister Ashwini Vaishnav fact-checks Facebook founder Mark Zuckerberg after he makes an incorrect claim about India's Lok Sabha elections. Well, some hope that's coming out of Los Angeles as firefighters gain ground in containing a raging inferno devastating the Pacific Palisades in Los Angeles. Flames threaten the San Fernando Valley, destroying over 12,000 structures. The death toll currently standing at 24, with several people still feared missing. Well, Arvind Kejriwal versus the Lieutenant Governor in the national capital. There seems to be another flashpoint, this time over its slum outreach, particularly talking about the Shakur Basti. Now, slums, it seems, are the new ground zero. We've got Aam Aadmi Party and the BJP that have accused each other of neglecting the health of the JJ clusters and slums in the national capital. They make up for at least 10% of the electorate. And just like the reservations issue, slums too have acquired the same tonality as the Aam Aadmi Party accuses the BJP of the plan to demolish them. BJP, on the other hand, accuses the Aam Aadmi Party of clearly neglecting the health and, of course, the development of these slums. Aam Aadmi Party accused the Lieutenant Governor of misleading the public on the land use change in the Shakur Basti case. And Lieutenant Governor Saxena dismissed the allegations as baseless. He even said, well, you need to mind yourselves, otherwise the DDA is going to be chalking out cases against the Aam Aadmi Party. However, the Aam Aadmi Party countered the Lieutenant Governor by presenting documents during the DDA meeting that was held in December. And here's the big question that we're going to be asking today. Why, number one, slum dwellers matter? All those numbers that we're going to be putting out. And is this the Aam Aadmi Party's move to divert attention from the entire Sheesh Mahal row? Before we move on, let's also take a look at some of the facts about the Delhi slums. Now, shouldn't we? About what numbers do they make up? Now, slum dwellers and unauthorized colony residents make up almost 10% of the electorate, almost 3 lakh households across 675 slums and 1700 Jhuggi Jhopdi clusters, JJ clusters, are present across the national capital. We've got South Delhi constituency that has around 67,000 slum households, and West Delhi constituency has around 22,000 slum households. And slums in Delhi are mostly inhabited by migrants. They come from, they come from Madhya Pradesh, they come from Jharkhand, they come from Rajasthan, all these other places. Let's listen in to some reactions coming across from the major stakeholders, and then I'll introduce my panelists to you.
श्री अरविंद केजरीवाल शकूर बस्ती की झुग्गियों के नजदीक गए। वहां उन्होंने शकूर बस्ती की झुग्गियों के विषय में जो बयान दिया वो सरासर झूठ है। उन्होंने 27 दिसंबर की डीडीए की बैठक का हवाला देते हुए कहा कि एलजी ने इस जमीन का लैंड यूज चेंज कर दिया है। डीडीए ने ना तो इस बस्ती का लैंड यूज चेंज किया है और ना ही डीडीए ने कोई इविक्शन अथवा डिमोलिशन नोटिस दिया है। श्री केजरीवाल जानबूझकर कोरा झूठ बोल रहे हैं और लोगों को गुमराह कर रहे हैं। 27 दिसंबर की मीटिंग में जिस रेलवे की जमीन का ट्रांसपोर्टेशन से रेजिडेंशियल में लैंड यूज चेंज करने का चर्चा हुई थी, वह रेलवे की दूसरी खाली जमीन है जिस पर कोई भी झुकी नहीं है। उसका भी लैंड यूज चेंज करने के विषय में कोई निर्णय नहीं हुआ है। डीडीए की 27 दिसंबर की अथॉरिटी मीटिंग में केजरीवाल जी के 2 विधायक सोमनाथ भारती और दिलीप पांडे मौजूद थे। अगर उन्होंने उनसे बात कर ली होती तो शायद ये झूठ नहीं बोलते। उनको मेरी सलाह है कि वह तत्काल प्रभाव से इस विषय में झूठ बोलना बंद करें, वरना डीडीए उनके विरुद्ध कार्रवाई करेगा।
कल शाम को एलजी साहब ने एक बयान जारी किया कि अरविंद केजरीवाल जी झूठ बोल रहे हैं, लेकिन दस्तावेज बिल्कुल साफ है। डीडीए की मीटिंग हुई, लैंड यूज चेंज हुआ, तो बिल्कुल साफ है कि भारतीय जनता पार्टी का झूठ पकड़ा गया है। और ये कोई पहली बार नहीं है। भारतीय जनता पार्टी के नेता झुग्गियों में जाते हैं, कहते हैं प्रवास कर रहे हैं, वहां पे लोगों के साथ खाते हैं, चाय पीते हैं, बच्चों के साथ कैरम खेलते हैं और कुछ ही महीनों में जाके उन सब झुग्गियों को तोड़ देते हैं। सुंदर नगरी की झुग्गी में यही हुआ। भारतीय जनता पार्टी के नेता प्रवास करने गए, वहां पे बच्चों के साथ लूडो खेली, कैरम खेला, उसकी फोटो सोशल मीडिया पे डाली और 3 महीने बाद कड़कड़ाती हुई ठंड में सुंदर नर्सरी की झुग्गी तोड़ डाली। तो ये बिल्कुल साफ है, भारतीय जनता पार्टी एक झुग्गी विरोधी पार्टी है, एक गरीब विरोधी पार्टी है और झुग्गी तोड़ने के अलावा उन्होंने आज तक दिल्ली के झुग्गी वालों के लिए कोई काम नहीं किया।
देखो साहब, एलजी साहब ने जो क्लैरिफिकेशन दिया है ये फिर से केजरीवाल के झूठ को पकड़ता है। केजरीवाल साहब इतना क्यों गुमराह करते हैं, इतना क्यों झूठ बोलते हैं, मुझे समझ में नहीं आता है। अगर सही में आपने झुग्गियों के कल्याण के लिए कोई काम किया होता तो इस तरीके के झूठ बोलने की आपको जरूरत नहीं थी। मैं एक और इनसे सवाल पूछता हूं और आपके माध्यम से पूछता हूं। आज से 10 साल 12 साल पहले जब शीला जी नई दिल्ली से चुनाव लड़ती थी, उस समय और उसके कुछ समय पहले से वहां करीबन 40 से 50 हजार या 35 से 45 हजार, मुझे ठीक से नंबर नहीं याद है, हमारे यहां झुग्गी क्लस्टर का वोटर था नई दिल्ली कॉन्स्टिट्यूंसी में। आज मुश्किल से शायद 7-8 हजार बचा होगा। और ये जो G20 की मीटिंग हुई थी, इसमें बहुत से क्लस्टर हटाए गए यहां से। उसके पहले अलग अलग समय में बहुत से क्लस्टर बताए गए। और मैं जब दोबारा इन इलाकों में घूमा, जिन झुग्गी क्लस्टर्स में कैंपेन करने में 2-2 दिन 3-3 दिन लग जाते थे, वो 2-2 3-3 घंटे में पूरी हो रही है। कहां गई हैं झुग्गियां? कहां गए हमारे झुग्गी वासी? कहां गया केजरीवाल का कल का तेवर कि मैं इस्तीफा दे दूंगा अगर एक भी झुग्गी उठाई गई? तो पिछले 10 साल में क्यों नहीं इस्तीफा दिया? आपकी कॉन्स्टिट्यूंसी नई दिल्ली में 30,000-35 हजार वोटर जो है उठा के यहां से बाहर फेंक दिया जाता है, हमें पता भी नहीं है वो कहां है।
Well, we will talk about the Aam Aadmi Party's charges, the LG's defense and Aam Aadmi Party's counterclaim. But before that, joining me here on the broadcast is Neoma Gupta, BJP spokesperson. A very warm welcome to you. Arnab Maitra, representing the Aam Aadmi Party, also with us on the broadcast. We've got Wing Commander Anuma Acharya, representing the Congress Party. Very warm welcome to you, Wing Commander, and KV Prasad, senior journalist. Always a pleasure to have you with us on News 9. Mr. Maitra, I'm going to quickly come to you first. I mean, what do you make of the Lieutenant Governor's charge? He's also, taking names of Somnath Bharti, Dilip Pandey, saying had Arvind Kejriwal had a word with them, he wouldn't have come out with these accusations. And the voter out there, resident in Delhi, the Delhiite out there, is worried about who to follow, who's misleading whom. What do you have to say? Let's get the snowball rolling here.
Well, firstly, I would like to tell you that LG Sahab is lying. In broad daylight, he is lying. Why he is doing so, I don't know. I don't have any idea. But we have documents of DDA meeting on 27th of December, where the land use has been changed from railway transportation to residential. Now, the big conspiracy behind it, you have to understand it. The conspiracy is they want to change everything, and then they want to demolish the slums, which BJP has persistently did in the last 10 years. And they want to demolish the slums. They don't love the slum dwellers at all. They have nothing to do with them. BJP is a party of the rich and not of the poor. So they don't understand the pain and the grievances of the poor. So they are now trying to demolish those slums, and then they want to get it ahead with their friends, and they want to donate it to their friends. And we all know how many friends Modi ji have, how many friends BJP have, and they have got everything of this country, from land to air to water. They have got each and everything. So this is a broad daylight lie. Another point of thing, what Arvind Kejriwal has demanded yesterday from the Shakur Basti is very much honest. I must tell you that Arvind Kejriwal is the one who ran on 2015 December, when BJP was conspiring to demolish that Basti. So Arvind Kejriwal at night time, at 2 o'clock in the morning, he went there and saved the people of Delhi from getting demolished. The slums were not demolished, and likewise many other slums are there which are not demolished just because of Arvind Kejriwal came in between BJP and his friends. Thus, the Delhi people knows this very well, and they are very much aware of the lies that are being spread by LG Sahib.
All right. Let's get in the BJP spokesperson, Neoma Gupta, with us on the broadcast. About this document, how credible is this document that the Aam Aadmi Party is talking about? They're citing the 27 December, DDA meeting, minutes from that particular meeting. Talk about how an approval was in fact given. What's your response on that?
Good evening. Thanks for having me on your panel, and happy Lori to you and all the panelists over here. To start with, it's just shocking news that in 2013, the Delhi Urban Shelter Improvement Board collected thousands of rupees from poor families, assuring them of permanent homes. Okay, some paid 70,000, some a lakh, some a lakh and a half. Shockingly, 12 years later, these families are still waiting for their promised homes. Who is responsible? Take a guess. I think it's somebody who's been in power in Delhi for 10 years. It's a fact that when the Sheila Dixit-led government initiated a scheme to provide homes for slum dwellers in areas like the Swag, Ghevra, Baprola, when Mr. Kejriwal assumed power, immediately after that, the allocation process came to a standstill. In fact, for 10 years, under the AAP government, it was ignored. The cries and pleas of slum dwellers, it just went into oblivion. 8,000 homes are standing ready, but no allotment has been made. What is happening on these units, one doesn't know. Then you come and say BJP will demolish homes of slum dwellers. Do you even have an idea how much the centre has done for the slum dwellers? In fact, under the PM Awas Yojana, thousands of affordable homes have been allotted to slum dwellers. And just a week ago, about 1675 were handed over to the JJ clusters in Ashok Vihar. In the past alone, sir, hundreds of slums across areas like the Silver Oak area, Ramesh Nagar and Karol Bagh were demolished, leaving entire families homeless. Despite repeated pleas, no action was taken to address the suffering. Then when slum dwellers are not important to you, oh yes, elections are around the corner, so we come back to yet another community which is being flagged. The slum dwellers have suffered due to the inaction of the AAP, and you go and spend dozens of crores on a house that you don't even own. I mean, in technical response, if I say, they've chosen palaces over these type of things. The AAP government was providing 560 liters water a day per person in posh colony. Meanwhile, in the slum, it was providing 20 liters per person a day. The Aam Aadmi spokesperson, if he can debate with decorum, I'd like to ask him. He made a statement that Aam Aadmi Party is a party for the poor and BJP is a party for the rich. Does he not have any double standards when he talks? You talk about, look in, I mean, I don't even want to get into the list about Swachh Bharat, Samriddhi Yojana, Sukanya Samriddhi Yojana. I can go on, but don't make statements like that. And then may I just add to my fleeting sentence, when it comes to Delhi, the maximum discrimination is here. Go to Northeast Delhi, look at the areas of Burari, Timarpur, Silampur, Babarpur, Gorakhpur, which have so many low-income residents residing there. Please look at the conditions of basic things like water, roads, drainage, school there. These places are in terrible conditions. I would like why. There's no green cover in half of Delhi. Even that has been discriminatorily managed. So coming here and making these accusations is absolutely baseless.
All right. Many thanks for your opening comments. I'm going to give Mr. Mehta time for a quick rejoinder, but before that, let's bring in Wing Commander in on the broadcast. Wing Commander, talk about Congress, a party that has historically been pro-poor. How are you looking at the plight of the slum dwellers? Is it really that simple pole plank issue that we're now looking at? And mind you, of course, there is the prism of political alliance posturing that will come on Congress's opinion as well. You could have softened your stance as well. After all, the India Bloc alliance partner, all the news that's doing the rounds within the rift of the opposition alliance as well. Your opening comments, Wing Commander.
Good evening, Kabir, and good evening to all the panelists. You were talking about Congress party being pro-poor. Yes, you are right. Because BJP, as BJP spokesperson said, they have done a lot for slum dwellers. I think that they have ensured that slum dwellers remain slum dwellers because of inflation. They are affected by inflation. They are affected by non-employment. So BJP, whether it is BJP, whether it is Aam Aadmi Party, they both are tarred with the same brush because we all have seen, we have witnessed that both have emerged from that protest that have launched, and after that the UPA government offered nothing to the government, but not able to provide.
Well, you know what? We're going to quickly check the technical connection of Wing Commander. There seems to be a little bit of a technical difficulty when we're looking at her connection. We're going to quickly bring in Mr. Prasad here on the broadcast. Mr. Prasad, it seems like we've got the Delhiite, the resident that's turning out to be the collateral between this prestige war between Arvind Kejriwal and, of course, the governor. Whilst we're putting out these, facts about how many, slum households there are across the national capital, how crucial is this particular, the slum dwellers, how crucial are they going to be when we're looking at the polls, the 10% electorate that we're putting out and flashing on our screens all throughout?
Thank you, Kabir, and good evening to members on the panel, and also happy Lohri. Well, I believe, I hope the warmth of the festival adds to the color of elections, but not in the way it produces heat, the kind of election heat that's going to be generated. Nonetheless, the fact remains the 10 percentage points that you said, 10% of voters is an important segment. A, because the migrant community, and they are the people who actually turn out at the voter booth. That has been the record provided, obviously, when they are enrolled as voters in this in the city. Number one. Number two, remember the Aam Aadmi Party's base belongs, it comes from this segment in particular. So that is an important component for the Aam Aadmi Party to go out and speak for them. These are the two initial calculations that one can see straight away. And also remember, a lot of migrant population comes from what is probably described in the Delhi election as a voter base of the Purvanchalis. So the a segment of that voter base, a segment of the people who reside in the Jhuggi Jhompri clusters come from this voter base. So it's very clear why the Aam Aadmi Party would try and rake up this issue or take up this issue at this point of time, Kabir.
All right. Mr. Mehta, critics are at this point in time suggesting that this is a pure optics. The timing of, something like this being raked up against the Lieutenant Governor. I mean, I just want to know how the Aam Aadmi Party is responding to the, criticism that all of this is being done as a political posturing to divert the attention from the pressure that the Aam Aadmi Party was facing vis-a-vis the Sheesh Mahal Rao. What's your opinion on that?
Firstly, I would like to tell you that there is no Sheesh Mahal Rao. When BJP decided to fight the election over Sheesh Mahal, our leaders went to the alleged Shish Mahal and asked them to show whatever lies they were spreading continuously, golden toilets, mini bar, swimming pool, each and everything. They just wanted to go there, visit and show it on camera whether those are present over there or not. But immediately BJP changed its stance and told you cannot enter the house of the former CM, Arvind Kejriwal. And when we told, if you want to debate on Shish Mahal, come, we will debate on Shish Mahal over Raj Mahal as well, where the Prime Minister of this country is having a 8,400 crore Hawai Jahaz and 2,700 crore residence. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about the crores of carpets that have been put in PM's residence. Let's talk about the decorations of PM's residence. But then they ran away from that. So there is nothing to hide from the former CM's house. We are openly challenging them. Come, let's go to the former CM's house and then visit the Raj Mahal of the Prime Minister as well to ensure proper understanding of the things. Number one.
Okay, all right.
Number two,
you know what,
like
Mr. Mitra?
Just 1 second.
For the benefit of the viewers, let's quickly take the viewer through what the Aam Aadmi Party has charged so long. Mr. Mitra, we'll come back to you. Right now, the Aam Aadmi Party's charge against the Delhi Lieutenant Governor is as such that BJP changed Shakur Basti slum land use. The other one is that they say Delhi LG is changing the rules and that BJP will demolish all of these slums. And this is how the Lieutenant Governor has sort of like refuted to the Aam Aadmi Party's charge. He said, and we earlier played out that reaction as well, that no decision was made to change the land use of Shakur Basti. Kejriwal is lying about Shakur Basti and misleading people. DDA did not change the land use. Kejriwal should take responsibility for the poor civic amenities. And finally, we earlier heard Delhi Chief Minister Atishi coming out with that counter to the BJP, saying that land use was changed at the DDA meeting. Proposal to change use of the 4.63 hectares of railway land was approved, and approval was subject to a traffic impact assessment report. Documents are clear. BJP's lie has been caught. BJP is anti-slum and anti-poor. Mr. Mitra, I'm going to come to you again. And, very quickly, one particular aspect of the Lieutenant Governor's reaction that he did put out, he said that Somnath Bharti and Dilip Pandey were there present in the meeting. Kejriwal should have had a word with them. They were right there present. Nothing of that sort has happened.
Look, what BJP is trying to do is spreading lies. The first and foremost thing is he should accept that whether he has signed the file to change the use of land in Shakur Basti, he should make his point clear over there. And I must tell you that what I was hearing from LG Sahib yesterday, and the same thing I'm hearing from the Honorable BJP spokesperson tonight in the panel. So is there any difference between both of them? I would recommend LG Sahib to come out in open and campaign for BJP openly, and he might become a candidate, because BJP is facing hurdles in finding candidates for the election. Another thing, Naomi ma'am has added one thing, that the central government has done a lot of things for the slum dwellers. Just to give you 5 examples, let me tell you. Number 1, DDA demolished Mehroli complex. DDA demolished Press Enclave village Khikri. They have demolished the village Chirag Delhi, village Jamrudpur, and there are several other examples. So this is what they have done for the slum dwellers. They have demolished one after the other. And these are all recorded data, what I'm talking about. I'm not talking anything out of the blue.
All right, Mr. Mitra, let's bring in Neoma Gupta in. Yeah, Neoma Gupta, over to you.
Let's reiterate, okay? Nothing like this has been done by the LG. The LG himself has very clearly, quote unquote, said that the DDA has neither changed the land use or given any eviction notice. Kejriwal is deliberately lying and misleading the people. Okay, so by coming over here and saying that I've actually seen that the AAP people, they keep hallucinating every time they're pushed against a wall. The other day they made a statement that Biduri ji will be our CM. No such thing has been declared by us and no such decision has been made by us. So every time they have no defense, they land up, as they say, offense is the best form of defense. They just keep hallucinating and coming up with these weird things. In fact, yesterday, one of the eminent spokespersons said, Congress and BJP have signed together. So, I mean, how bitter was your breakup to come up with all these silly explanations? You are the ones who discriminated, as I reiterated. Please let me finish. I never interrupt you. Please let me...
Mr. Mitra, we'll come to you. Nobody interrupted you. Let Ms. Gupta have a say. Over to
I
you,
have
ma'am.
mentioned in the past year alone, hundreds of slums across like places like Silver Oak Park, Ramesh Nagar, Karol Bagh were demolished, leaving entire families homeless. Despite repeated pleas, no action was taken for their suffering. Please tell me why. And over here, raking up issues to create fear just before elections. Why weren't you talking about all these points earlier if there was such a bone of contention to you? So don't come at the nth moment with economically failed schemes which are not going to work, like your Mahila Saman Yojana, which you did in Punjab for 1,000. Now you've come and announced 2,100, and now creating fear amongst the people of Delhi. You want to talk basic infrastructure? Your government is not only responsible for misgovernance in Delhi, it's responsible for complete failure. You talk about the air, you talk about the water, you talk about the roads, you talk about Delhi in total. Have you rendered it as a capital of Delhi? You've rendered it to nothing. So when it comes to these type of political malicious tactics, please refrain yourself. Tell me something today in the Sheesh Mahal case, okay, and in the Liquorgate scam. Why haven't you even set and done a press conference saying that why didn't you take back the Liquorgate policy when it was such a mess? Why aren't you approaching topics which are in your face right now?
Well, all right. Before we move into that rebuttal, ma'am, let's play out some more reactions that are coming in. We've got a reaction coming in from Parvesh Verma. We've also got Priyanka Kakkad of the Aam Aadmi Party. Let's quickly listen to what they have to say.
मेरे पास में कल ही 6-7 भाई बहन आए. उन्होंने बताया कि वो भारती नगर में रहते हैं, नई दिल्ली विधानसभा में, और उन्होंने आज से 12-13 साल पहले 70,000 रुपये दिल्ली सरकार में जमा कराया था. बार बार वो अरविंद केजरीवाल से मिलने की कोशिश करी, वो उनसे नहीं मिला, और हमेशा ये बोलते रहे कि 2-3 महीने में आपको हम वहां पे मकान दे देंगे. आज तक ये लोग अपनी झुग्गियों में रहते हैं. इनके साथ में कोई भी वायदा पूरा नहीं किया, और ये तो एक ही कॉलोनी के लोग हैं. इनके और भी बहुत सारे भाई बहन हैं. पूरे दिल्ली में हजारों की संख्या में ऐसे लोग हैं जिनसे पैसा ले लिया गया और उनको मकान नहीं दिया गया. दूसरी तरफ पिछले 2-3 साल में जितनी भी दिल्ली में झुग्गियां टूटी हैं वो सारी एमसीडी ने तोड़ी है. एमसीडी में आम आदमी पार्टी की सरकार है. आम आदमी पार्टी की सरकार बिना केजरीवाल के इशारे से चल नहीं सकती है. तो कौन झुग्गी तोड़वा रहा है, कौन इनका पैसा खा गया? सारा इनके गरीबों का पैसा एडवर्टाइजमेंट बजट में लगा दिया.
इंडिपेंडेंट इंडिया की सबसे बड़ी गरीब विरोधी अगर कोई पार्टी है तो वो बीजेपी है. बार बार इन्होंने स्लम ड्वेलर्स के ऊपर, झुग्गी बस्ती वालों के ऊपर बुलडोजर चलाए हैं. जिन झुग्गी बस्तियों में कल अरविंद केजरीवाल जी ने अपनी प्रेस वार्ता की थी, शकूर बस्ती में, ये वही जगह है जहां 10 साल पहले बीजेपी वाले अपना बुलडोजर लेकर पहुंच गए थे. तब देर रात में अरविंद केजरीवाल जी अपने मंत्रियों और अधिकारियों के साथ वहां पहुंचे थे और उस बुलडोजर एक्शन को प्रिवेंट किया था. बट अनफॉर्चुनेटली भाजपा की मचाई हुई अफरा तफरी में एक 6 साल की बच्ची गुजर गई थी. अब फिर से भाजपा ने उसी जगह पर फिर से पूरे टेंडर कर दिए हैं. उस झुग्गी बस्ती को उजाड़ने का पूरा प्लान बना लिया है उन्होंने चुनाव खत्म होते ही. जहां झुग्गी वहां मकान कहती है भाजपा, पर किसका मकान ये नहीं बताती. दोस्तों का मकान. जहां तक एलजी महोदय की बात है, वो झूठ बोल रहे हैं. जब देखो भाजपा का झूठा प्रोपेगेंडा रन करते हैं.
Well, amidst this political upmanship, let's bring in Wing Commander Acharya. Wing Commander, I have to say this, but the Congress seems a little bit absent in this entire fiasco. Being a pro-poor party, we're talking about slums, and you mentioned Seelampur yourself in your previous response, and Seelampur was some place that Rahul Gandhi wanted to start his, kickstart his own campaign from. Is slum politics, the slum dwellers, are they even a focal point for the Congress party now? The entire newsroom was waiting for Rahul Gandhi. It seems like we've missed that opportunity now, have we?
Kabir, you yourself said that our party looks after the poor and they take care of poor people. I intend to agree.
I only said, ma'am, said that it is a pro-poor party. I didn't say they look after the poor.
Okay, it's a pro-poor party. And that is very evident with our 15 years consecutive governance under Mrs. Sheila Dikshit. Also, I intend agreeing Aam Aadmi Party on one point that BJP is the biggest enemy of poor and slum dwellers. BJP is a party who talks a lot about poor. They have talked a lot about Beti Bachao, Beti Padhao, but what they do, they spend all their budget in marketing and branding. They actually do not do anything for the poor people. And as I said, they both are tarred with the same brush, because one party talks about poor, Aam Aadmi Party, what they do free, one bottle of liquor bottle free with another one. So, whereas Aam Aadmi Party has initially tried showing that they are actually looking after people, they are really looking after the Aam Aadmi, but subsequently what we have seen, they have built a sheesh mahal, and you can see the double standard of BJP spokesperson as well as their Mr. Pravesh Verma was talking about them, that they are making sheesh mahal, but look at Prime Minister who has actually made a Raj Mahal, and both the parties, you will see eventually they will ruin the poor people. They are not doing anything for giving them employment. Initially, Aam Aadmi Party claimed that we are going to do Rozgar Mela and all. BJP also talked about giving employment to people, but ultimately what they have done, they have actually these people are affected because inflation, because of non-employment. So you will see that both the parties eventually, they have started their campaigning against UPA, as I said. They both started with that Vivekanand Foundation, and at the end of it, they have done actually nothing. Whatever Mrs. Sheila Dikshit has done, they have even ruined that. You see, even South Delhi, waterlogging happens when rainfall happens. So this is where both the parties, I find, the same footing.
All right, Vinkamada.
Congress, you have seen for last 6 months, Congress has been with the people. All our schemes, if you will see, they are for upliftment for poor, for the people, for the youth, for women. We have taken after, looked after all the segments, and this time we have also declared a scheme for the unemployed youth to give them 8,500 as stipend for every month, so that at least they have something before they get a job. Yeah.
No, absolutely. Yeah. Mr. Prasad, we've heard.
One last thing.
Okay. All right.
Kabir, this is a narrative which is being run, that there is the Congress party.
Okay, I'm glad you used that word. I'm glad you used that word, narrative. Let's ask Mr. Prasad about the narrative. Mr. Prasad, you've heard all the three sides now. There's essentially, the three parties going to polls also as well. Many are now suggesting that this is not a tri-cornered contest. It's going to be a one-on-one, or it's going to be a triple threat handicap. Who will the Congress actually come and help out here? I think we'll have to wait for the results to come out. But before that, the issue of slum rehabilitation, slum dwellers becoming the focal point. Is this more about optics than action? You've heard all the parties at play over here. What do you have to say on that?
Kabir, it's unfortunate that we are discussing an issue which needs to be attended to at an immediate basis, because it involves humans, it involves people, and they are living in a miserable or in a condition that needs to be certainly attended to. Politics is part of the whole game, and especially election time, we see this happen so often. But my observation always is, if what we just heard BJP candidate Mr. Verma list that he has people, I'm sure the BJP with its vast cadres in a city like Delhi and a party which is has a number of people around, could have actually compiled with a list of actually people and documenting them rather than making an offhand claim, because these claims around election time are okay. Fair enough, they may be true, but it could have been well documented. So therein you have something very solid. Just the same way, Aam Aadmi Party's welfare schemes that it keeps talking about, some of them are obviously, if they are government schemes, they would have paid out of the treasury, so there would be some record. So this is where the whole battle lies. We seem to have forgotten that it is all about people. It's slums, the condition, the miserable conditions they are living in. They have, uninhabitable issues, and I don't know why that doesn't agitate us. Instead of, okay, election time we take up this as an issue, but post elections, you kind of, forget all about it. Probably when a big event comes, we put a big parda to, hide these shanties behind those nice murals.
No, you're absolutely right, Mr. Prasad. I think, come election time, everybody starts beating those sound drums, but later on, it's a different ball game altogether. The BJP and the Aam Aadmi Party at loggerheads on this particular front. We'll have to wait and find out as to what really happens on the Shakur Basti aspect. Will it pay the right kind of dividends for the BJP or the Aam Aadmi Party? Well, 8th of February, that's the date that we're going to look at. Mr. Mitra, we're going to move on. There are some CAG reports that we need to talk about as well. Of course...
Just I would have needed 5 to 10 seconds. Just one point to make clear.
Well, if you take 5 to 10 seconds, I'm going to be giving 5 to 10 seconds to Niyoma Gupta as well.
Sure. So would you like to give her first?
No. You go ahead. But just 5 to 10 seconds. We're really short on time.
I just wanted to clarify one thing. Yesterday, Arvind Kejriwal ji has challenged BJP that they have removed 3 lakh people. They have made them homeless, shelterless. And if BJP is daring to file an affidavit in the court that they would make homes for them and they will give it to them, hand over to them, Arvind Kejriwal is also ready to withdraw his name from the election. Arvind Kejriwal...
Yes, Mr. Mehta, we've all heard that. And we all know that's not going to happen. Niyoma Gupta, final say to you.
The safety of the people of Delhi.
Yeah, okay,
no,
that's
like
a wolf cry. That's like a wolf cry. He even said that when it came to cleaning up the Yamuna. So it's become very stale and it's very boring. And when it comes to the Congress spokesperson, they should stop preaching and they should just reflect. Because they allied with the corrupt party once, defended them the other day, protested with them, sat and kept quiet on all their misgovernance. So when you talk about performance, please look at the terrible situations in the states you have governed and stop holding hands out of convenience and dropping it when it's not convenient to you. So don't come and criticize. You have the maximum double
Your
standards.
comments, ma'am, only dictate to one thing. This breakup wasn't as bitter as people are now talking about. We're going to slip into a quick commercial breather here, ladies and gentlemen. All my esteemed panelists, do stay on with me. We're going to be back after a short break. And on the other side, we're going to discuss the CAG report row as well. Stay tuned.
You work too hard. Work smart like me.
Why? Won a lottery, is it?
You can say so. I'm investing in a great scheme in the share market. High returns guaranteed.
Your high returns aren't Karan Arjun for them to definitely come to you.
Meaning?
Dad, there's risk involved in the share market. Nobody can promise guaranteed high returns. It's illegal to do so.
Really?
Yeah.
सोच कर, समझ कर, इन्वेस्ट कर।
You dreamt of European engineering, of modern design, of craft that's comfortable. With the best-in-class maintenance cost, we made your dreams a reality. Behold, the Skoda Kayak.
Skoda. I will take you to Paris. Paris नहीं, Paris. तुम्हारा pronunciation भी ना, तुम्हारे इरादे की तक. मैडम इरादे कभी ऑफ नहीं होते, टेक ऑफ करते हैं.
SBI Life Smart Platina Supreme के guaranteed return से करो पूरे अपने इरादे, अपनों से किए सभी वादे. SBI Life, अपने लिए, अपनों के लिए.
It's not the fiefdom of politicians. They owe it to the people.
Matter is now more about faith of the millions of devotees than just political slugfest.
Does that mean that I can't get a job in Chennai, although I may be best suited for that particular job? They have more civic sense. They have more of civility than all these men. My name is Sudha Sadanand. Welcome to the South Indian.
Welcome back. You're watching On Point with me, Kabir Naqvi. The second portion of how we're decoding and trying to deconstruct the Delhi Assembly elections is that the CAG reports that are now doing the rounds, of course, many alleging that they were, of course, released to avoid notice. It wasn't tabled in the Assembly, well, to avoid scrutiny. All of those criticism from both sides of the divide. Let's break that down for the viewers here. And it's clearly not a smooth sailing for the Aam Aadmi Party this time, given what we've seen last two times. It's raining trouble for the Aam Aadmi Party. The Aam Aadmi Party got reprimanded by the High Court as well today for not taking timely action on the CAG report. And I'm talking about the CAG report on Liquorgate. Let's take a look at what the High Court said. Now, as the High Court pulled up the Aam Aadmi Party government of the CAG report, it said that the Aam Aadmi Party government delayed submission of the CAG report on the liquor scam. The High Court questioned the delay in sending the report to the Lieutenant Governor. And this delay certainly raises questions about the government's bona fides, is what the High Court said. They also went on to assess that report should have been promptly forwarded to the Speaker, needless to say. Discussion should have been initiated on the report in the House. Government dragged its feet to prevent the session from taking place. Meanwhile, let's also listen in to some of the political reactions that have come across on this issue. We've got Sudhanshu Trivedi, we've got Atishi, Manish Sisodia, Alka Lamba of the Congress Party as well. Listen in.
दिल्ली के सो कॉल्ड एक्चुअल मुख्यमंत्री, जो वास्तविक अर्थों में फैटल मुख्यमंत्री साबित हुए हैं, जो नित्य प्रति कार्य करने की बजाय उठकर एक सवाल पूछने लगते हैं, जबकि वो भारत के इतिहास की सबसे शक्तिशाली, संख्या की दृष्टि से सबसे शक्तिशाली सरकार उनके पास है, उसके बाद भी वो सवाल पूछते हैं। मगर आज कुछ बहुत गंभीर प्रश्न इस विषय के ऊपर उठकर खड़े हुए हैं कि जो सीएजी रिपोर्ट्स थी, आपको पता है कि सरकार के आर्थिक आय व्यय का मूल्यांकन सीएजी, कॉम्प्ट्रोलर एंड ऑडिटर जनरल के द्वारा किया जाता है, राज्यों में भी और केंद्र में भी। मगर यह एक बड़ी विचित्र बात है कि स्वघोषित कट्टर ईमानदार एक संवैधानिक व्यवस्था के द्वारा अपने सरकार के कार्यों की आर्थिक समीक्षा को न सिर्फ होने देते, नहीं देते, नकारते हैं और सदन के पटल पर रखना नहीं चाहते हैं। और इसलिए दिल्ली हाई कोर्ट ने भी जो प्राप्त सूचना है मीडिया में, उसके अनुसार दिल्ली हाई कोर्ट ने एक ऑब्जर्वेशन यूज किया है कि दिल्ली गवर्नमेंट इज ड्रैगिंग इट्स फीट, यानी अपने कदम खींच रही है इन प्लेसिंग द सीएजी रिपोर्ट, अर्थात दिल्ली की सरकार सीएजी की रिपोर्ट सदन के पटल पर रखने से कदम पीछे खींच रही है। यह दुर्भाग्यपूर्ण है।
क्या रिपोर्ट को दिल्ली विधानसभा भेज दिया गया है, अगले सत्र में पेश किया जाएगा। क्या रिपोर्ट को दिल्ली विधानसभा भेज दिया गया है, अगले सत्र में पेश किया जाएगा।
कैग रिपोर्ट की एक प्रोसेस है, वो प्रोसेस पूरी करके लाई जाएगी विधानसभा में। वो ऑनरेबल कोर्ट को भी सबमिट कर दिया होगा मेरे ख्याल से वकीलों ने।
केजरीवाल जी से एक बात पूछ लीजिएगा, क्या अदालत की पाबंदियां आपसे हट गई हैं? अदालत ने आपके हाथ बांध दिए क्योंकि आपकी कलम जो है वो भ्रष्टाचार, शराब नीति, फंड जारी करना अपने शीश महल के लिए 33 करोड़, उस पे चला। इसलिए आपकी कलम, ये सच है, अदालत ने छीन लिया, आपके हाथ बांध दिए। आप कोई सरकारी बैठक नहीं बुला सकते, आप कोई फैसले नहीं ले सकते, इसलिए आपको पद से इस्तीफा देना पड़ा और आप अगले मुख्यमंत्री नहीं हो रहे हैं। क्यों आप विधायक नहीं बन रहे?
Meanwhile, ladies and gentlemen, these are some of the big questions that we're talking about. Has the BJP succeeded in making corruption the key issue in the Delhi elections? Does the CAG report shift focus on Delhi's political narrative in BJP's favor? And was the submission of the report delayed to avoid scrutiny? Joining me here on the broadcast is Neoma Gupta of the Bharatiya Janata Party, Arnab Maitra representing the Aam Aadmi Party, Wing Commander Anuma Acharya, Congress spokesperson, and KV Prasad, senior journalist. A very warm welcome and thanks for sticking around. I'm going to quickly, start with Mr. Maitra. Those questions that I think, are being asked across all tablets, all headlines. Why the delay? Why wasn't it tabled? And what is this process that Atishi and Manish Sisodia are now talking about?
Well, I would like to know, for the last 7 days, the reports that were being made viral by the BJP headquarters, what report were those? First, you need to understand that the CAG report that they were showing to the media for the past 7 days, what is the truth of that? Yes, CAG report will be tabled very soon in the Vidhan Sabha. There is nothing to hide. But let me tell you one thing. For those reports that has been published in the media by the BJP headquarters in a false way, they should feel ashamed of themselves and they should ask for forgiveness from the people.
No, Mr. Mitra, let's break this down. Let's not confuse the viewers. Of course, okay. Surreptitiously, a report comes out. We'll get to that aspect. Listen to me, Mr. Mitra. Listen to me. Surreptitiously, a report comes out. We'll get on to that aspect as well. But the report does come out. There are some facts or, well, statements that have been made on that report. Why wasn't it tabled? Why was there a delay? I mean, of course, people are now going to say, and critics of the Aam Aadmi Party will definitely say, you've given them the, the opportunity to say that this was being done to avoid scrutiny. Look at the timing of this. February, the tenure is going to end. Why couldn't you have tabled it? There was ample amount of time to table it. Niyama Gupta, we're going to come to you. I just want to know what Mr. Mitra talks about.
Sure.
Look, I'm telling you this once again. There are certain procedures to table a CHE report, and it will be done with due time. Whenever it is required, it will be done. But my question to you and the BJP spokesperson, ma'am, is that if you want to talk about CHE report, let's discuss Dwarka Expressway, which has already been tabled, which has been put into the public platform. Why don't you discuss on Dwarka Expressway? Why don't you discuss on Ayushman Bharat report, CAG report? Let me tell you, the officers who have slammed the Narendra Modi government are being transferred. Why so? Because they had to hide. We don't have anything to hide. It's just a procedure. It will take time and it will be tabled in due time.
All right. Niyama Gupta, over to you. Of course, the process is what they're talking about. But then again, it does. The timing of the election needs to be looked at, ma'am. And of course, the report did come out, and many are saying that it did come out, surreptitiously.
This is such a convenient stand to take. It's in fact it's comical to say. The LG wrote to the CM Atishi ji multiple times asking her to table more than 10 CAG reports, including the liquor gate scam. Why did you not table any of them in the house if you're so innocent? What were you trying to hide? And yes, I have to add this. When our MLAs in the assembly, led by Mr. Vijinder Gupta ji, protested, shouted, requested time and time again to table these reports and discuss at least some of them on the floor of the house, but they were just ignored again and again and again. You deflect. You brush off allegations, you don't bother to address anything, and you constantly attack the questions about there's such invalid concerns. What sort of Kattar Imandar are you? We are talking about a revenue loss of respectively 2,026 crores to the exchequer. They are showing significant deviations from the original policy. I have a fundamental question which I asked at the earlier debate. It has been 2 years. You still haven't answered the main question. Why did you roll back the liquor policy if you thought it was done so honestly, with good intent, legally, with all compliances? If you answer that, it'll be remarkable. Also, please understand, today your sitting CM, Atishi ji, is asking for crowdfunding. It's so weird because it's so suspicious that Manish Sisodia ji, who was also an accused in the liquor gate side, is crowdfunding too, when reports have revealed that a significant portion of the funds from the liquor gate scam was utilized in the Goa elections. There is such a dichotomy on this. And when it comes to the Congress, before you go there, I'd like to say the less said the better. In 2022, Congress too filed a complaint with the Delhi police alleging the multi-crore liquor scam. After that, nothing. There was complete silence. In fact, they withdrew from the picture. And in 2024, when Mr. Kejriwal was arrested by the ED, you defended AAP as a part of the India alliance. This is your commitment when it comes to consistency.
All right. Wing Commander Acharya, would you like to answer to those questions? How does the Congress interpret the delay in submission of the CAG report that's now, sort of like wriggled the storm in the national capital?
Kabir, if in dramatics and theatrics, I give 99 out of 100 to BJP, I also give 100 out of 100 to Aam Aadmi Party, because they have been deferring this, and deferment is like a strategy, because Mr. Arvind Kejriwal himself has been from Indian Revenue Services, so he knows what is to be deferred, what is to be deviated, what is to be deflected. I'm talking about Bharatiya Janata Party. Why they are not tabling the reports on SEBI gate scam? Why not on Madhuri Puri Butch? Why not on Agnipath scheme? There is no CAG report. How dangerously it has affected our armed forces. Why there is no CAG reports on that? why COG reports have reduced so much. Their percentage have gone down like anything. So both the parties, in my views, they are not only ruining the governance, at the same time, they are misleading the people of Delhi, people of the country. And this is what I have to say.
All right, all right.
And when it comes to scoring the Aam Aadmi Party Pravakta and me on theatrics, the person who's talking the loudest is the Congress spokesperson. When were you when you were a silent opposition and tying hands with these guys?
Wing Commander, would you like to respond to that? Well, it seems like we've lost the connection with the Wing Commander over there. Numa Gupta, my apologies. A response to that might not be coming. But Mr. Mehta, coming back to you, and we've already spoken about how the report came out surreptitiously, but these are still facts. But, probity, anti-corruption principles, these were things that, somebody associated with the Aam Aadmi Party when it came to the fore. Now, posters of Mahathug is, what people are looking at. Will this hurt the Aam Aadmi Party this time around? I mean, and I'm constantly saying this over previous shows as well, that this election is for the Aam Aadmi Party to lose and for the BJP to win, given the strong numbers of the Aam Aadmi Party over the last 2 elections as well.
Look, Aam Aadmi Party is a staunchly honest party. I repeat, we are an honest party. We are against corruption. If we had done any kind of corruption, we would have become a Subhendu Adhikari, we would have become a Chhavan Bhujbal, we would have become a Mukul Rai, we would have become so and so. There is a long list of names whom BJP claimed to be cheaters, to be looters, and then they took them in their party. And now Subhendu Adhikari is the leader of opposition in West Bengal. Hemanta Biswa Sarma is the CM face, is the CM of Assam representing BJP government. So let us not talk about corruption. If we had done anything, we would have joined hands with BJP and we would have been living a very safe life. But we are not in support of corruption. We have not done a corruption of a single penny. And what about the irregularities Naomi ma'am was talking about? Ma'am, have you visited the road that has been made by Gold, Dwarka Expressway, where according to the CAG report, let me quote, the amount sanctioned per kilometer was 18.2 crores and the amount approved, that was the approved amount, and the amount sanctioned was 250.77 crores per kilometer. A road made of 250 plus crores per kilometer. That means a kilometer to walk on that, it will be my biggest dream. And I guess Modi ji has made this golden road for the people of India. And another thing you were telling about was crowdfunding. Yes, we are asking funds from all the members of this country, because if BJP is asking for crowdfunding during the Lok Sabha elections, who have made crores of BJP party offices, do you know how much the BJP party offices are cost of? They are of crores. But we firmly believe in honesty. We don't have proper money to fight the elections. That is why we have done our work. We did. And we told each and everything to the people of this country. And then with folded hands, we are asking for funds so that we can fight election honestly and can again run the government for 5 years with utmost honesty.
Okay,
just
you know what?
Just to correct his pronunciation, my name is Nyoma. He keeps mispronouncing my
thank
name.
you for that. Thank you for that.
My apologies.
Nyoma Gupta. Mr. Prasad, I'm going to bring you in. I'm going to bring you in to dispel, this little tussle that's happening on air at the moment. Mr. Prasad, there's only one question when we're looking at the CAG report, because now Manish Sisodia cited the, proper process that needs to talk about. Viewers aren't necessarily interested in what this process is. Once it gets tabled, what comes out of it, the Delhiites are going to talk about it. But will this issue resonate with the voters? I think that's the only question I need to ask a senior journalist on the panel at the moment.
Well, if you look at the way the conversation has been building up the last few days, or rather the line of attack from the BJP in particular, and the Congress also joining issue at times, is they're trying to corner and trying to stick the charges of corruption against the Aam Aadmi Party as government in Delhi on number of issues. And I believe the fact that the CAG report was not placed and portions of it have already appeared, run in the media, is been there. So now the Aam Aadmi Party faces a twin issue of having to either defend what has come and say this is inaccurate, but this odium of corruption will be around them, And this is where they'll have to at least go and explain to people. Now, if it is not correct, I mean, now they'll be slightly on the defensive on what has come out in public domain through whatever way. I don't know. The fact remains that will be an issue people will ask, surely. And if it was stable, it was an actual report, if it was stable in the House, then probably the Aam Aadmi Party would have been in a different position, is my understanding. But surely corruption is an issue that the opposition is building to Aam Aadmi Party, to stick around the Aam Aadmi Party.
Well, all right then. We're going to wrap it here. I'm being told we'll run completely out of time. We'll run completely out of time. Okay, Niyama Gupta, last 30 seconds to you. That's it.
Okay, literally 30 seconds.
All right.
When it came up, they started on an anti-corruption movement. That was their genesis. But once upon a time, in 2013, they signed a sworn affidavit saying that they won't take a bungalow in fancy cars. You were completely against the VIP culture. Today, see your sheesh mahal. It's worth 50 crores. Walk your talk.
Okay, all right. We're going to leave it there. Needless to say that hasn't really concluded our deep dive into the CAG report controversy, but this story, needless to say, is raising serious questions about the governance and the accountability. Will the corruption issue stick around till the 5th of February, and how strongly? Well, we'll have to wait and find out, because the debate isn't just about figures, but about trust in the systems that shape our democracy as well. That's all on Point for tonight. Many thanks for watching. All my esteemed set of panelists, Niyama Gupta, Mr. K.V. Prasad and Arnav Mehta, many thanks for joining us here. Tune in again, same time tomorrow, 7 p.m. Good night.
He said, Thomas, if it were not for my grandmother, who was my light of my life, I would have stayed back in the US and married the girl who I loved and I wanted to marry. He said, two things brought me back to India. Number one is that my grandmother, who meant everything to me, she took ill. And the other half was that grandmother used to always tell him, please understand, Tata stand for certain principles and normative values. At some point of time in your career, you will have to embrace it unfailingly and ensure that there is no deviation from the path which Jamshedji, the founder, had shown for the entire Tata family.
This and more. Streaming on News 9 Plus. News is now content. Subscribe and get free vouchers.
India spends $75 billion on foreign cargo vessels.
$75 billion per annum. That's a lot of money.
Imagine a situation where 95% of our cargo is coming on ships which are not owned by us. If we are still not prepared, if someone were to say that we are not going to give you ships, then we'll be stuck. So the entire nation's economy is at risk.
We are very clear that shipping is also strategic, because without that you can't really be the third largest economy in the world.
This and more. Streaming on News 9 Plus. News is now content. Subscribe and get free vouchers.
In the chaos of battle, one weapon stands as a silent reaper of the battlefield. It can kill at ranges of over 3 kilometers. Just one precise shot can shatter enemy lines, disrupt entire formations, and tip the scales of war. This is a weapon born in Bharat, and it's crafted to take on the best in the world. This is the SSS Defense Sabre, and you're watching Guns of India.
This and more. Streaming on News 9 Plus. Subscribe and get free vouchers.
The section is called The Bit of the Empire Striking Back. It is not me who said it, it's Mr. Tata who said it. And normally you don't expect him to say that because he's very polite, he's very understated. But at a weak moment in the speech in Cornell, he said India's acquisition abroad made by Tata Group is kind of the empire striking back. Please understand, Mr. Ratan Tata is a very, very patriotic man. Extremely nationalist. He had the nation's interest first and everything else second.
This and more. Streaming on News 9 Plus. News is now content. Subscribe and get free vouchers.